And whoops, and I'm doing this on my phone, so everything is going to be unbelievably amateur because that would match the kind of theme of everything else I've done here on the internet anyway, so I might as well continue to be remarkably amateur and look slightly crazy. For those of you who are unaware, I currently have a cat who is still looking very cute and is being sufficiently demanding. Now, I'm doing this video right now, going live, for what reason? Primarily because there have been some people who had showed some concern and supportiveness of me when I was going through what is essentially a personal, like, weird spiritual crisis thing. And I think that there is a solution, and it's a solution I'm going to give a go to, which should be able to give me the personal spiritual freedom. Because some of you out there are right. It was bloody stupid of me to join the church anyway in the first place because they don't agree with my work, they don't agree with my practices, they'll not agree with like 99.9 recurring percent of everything I do online anyway. Um, and it's obviously it's crazy. I mean, if you think about it, this weird group of people who muster peculiar incantations over sacrificial blood and flesh on altars bedecked with candles, that are in a certain special pattern that's been passed down for generations and generations, and it's all rather weird. But on the other hand, that's the Church of England for you. And then of course there's all the confusion and complexity. And there was one person who approached me and says, "When you do your tarot readings, do you do it from the same spirit?" And oh, for fuck's sake, woman, just grow up. It's not important. I'm there to help you. Just today alone, doing my work as an online tarot reader, I have saved 3 marriages. Okay, just working as an online tarot reader, those marriages are now safe. Those people are taking action. What I do carries a certain quantity of social good, and that's surely the most important thing. So, what is this like solution, which can allow me to take an attitude which is deistic, implicate the various different aspects of my own personal character, and also allow me to grow and to do the various different things which I do as a person, as a strange person, as a person who's got like the Lesser Key of Solomon on my shelves over there, alongside, books by Old Crow and God alone knows what else. And I got tarot packs there, and I got tarot packs up there, and I got tarot packs upstairs, and I attend like online weird psychic development classes and help them as they help me, and it's an exchange there. Um, what is the solution to my personal dilemma? What is the thing? And as a result of conversations with some people who are quite close to me and very important to me, the kind of solution was probably Unitarian Universalism, because the purpose of that is to allow you to grow. I mean, that actually allows in atheists and agnostics and humanists and Christians and Jews and Muslims and pagans, and there are forms of like universalist, Unitarian, prayers and ceremonies for all different types of stuff. And they're like encouraging you to carry on being what you are, as well as to like listen to their ideas about social justice and supporting that, and learning more about how to be a more loving, contributing member of society, and basically all the good stuff. I've seen some of their from different parts of the world services online. They have a similar structure to an Anglican service, similar in some respects, but the concepts which are being expressed are less culturally specific. So it doesn't necessarily, I mean, it's got no creed for a start off. There's nothing you actually have to believe. Okay. It's more a question of bottom up theology rather than top down. It's not a question of people telling you that you have to do this or you aren't allowed to do that or any of that. So this Unitarian Universalism stuff, and there is one of their places, not well, a fair distance from me, but not too far away from me. I should be able to walk to it, uh, as long as I leave the house early enough in the morning. and that would probably be a good thing. And apparently, you can go there every Sunday, and they might have different varieties of service from different types of spiritual path, including not only the Jews, the Muslims, the Islamic people, the pagans. They even have like a Wiccan service sometimes, but they might even have like Jedi Knights and Wookiees. The Wookiee religion. Okay, that would be that would just be a laugh. That would be just like hilarious. We're the tree people, and we believe this, that, and the other, and probably speaking in Wookiee as well. I don't know whether Wookiee is like a codified language like Klingon is. I mean, like Klingon is like a language. Uh, I mean, maybe some crazy people can like buy an island and only speak Klingon on the islands, and it'll be like the national language of the Klingon people in some like South Pacific like rock somewhere. I don't know, but yes, but wouldn't that just be like a laugh? I mean, I think the whole idea of this Unitarian Universalism is that it's not supposed to be comfortable, okay? Because you're in this like theological or spiritual space with people who disagree with you, but you're doing something you can agree with. And I think that's something which can actually provide a certain quantity of strength and creative growth and problem solving and all that kind of good stuff. Because I'm just one of these weird people who requires a community, and also a place which has socially appropriate, contemplative stuff. All right. And some of these places, they also have meditation events. So you can go there and do some Buddhist meditation. You can go there and do some, all kinds of other, tranquil, reverent, chill out stuff. Because like my life is very intense. My emotions are very intense. I'm a very intense individual. I mean, everything about the things which happen in my life requires a certain level of attention and focus and intensity, and it's very tiring. So this, that whole thing might do the job for me. I mean, let's face it. Uh, the Church of England thinks I'm a witch. The high up people say what I do is witchcraft. I think what I do is a form of exploratory deistic attempt to have spiritual experience and to not necessarily draw specific answers from it, because if you got the answers, then you're crazy. Okay, it's like trying to say that you know everything about France through reading the flyleaf of a guidebook for the Algarve in Portugal. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I know Portugal and France are different countries, but that's my whole point. Okay, you can't draw big conclusions, hard and fast, strong statements of belief about things which are natural, which are perceived to be natural, based upon scanned information or scanned experience. It makes no sense at all. But this is what people do. This is present, hey, like crazy in the New Age community, in the pagan community, in the occult community, and all over the place. We should be able to have more and more questions. Hello, marijuana community. What's up? Life is up. Everything is life, and everything is beauty and tranquility. And even without drugs, it can even be good. Yep. And with drugs, it can be good too. Yep. I'm not denying that, but but I'm living life without. I mean, my whole like point of this video is just to suggest that I may have found a solution to my personal dilemmas, and I don't know. I haven't been in that community yet, and obviously we're still in lockdown officially. But I'm hoping that when like June comes, I think it's June, yeah, it must be June time when we're allowed to actually meet other human beings. I could like travel up there and see those people and just be comfortable with being in a state of disagreement, because I mean the Church of England is even against mantra meditation. I mean, can you fucking believe it? Mantra meditation, because that's like evil satanic pagan practice. I mean, no, it's science points out that mantra meditation can help to instill the tranquil brainwave frequencies, reduce cortisol and stress and that sort of stuff, and can be used to assist with concentration, relaxation, all that kind of stuff. Uh, yeah, well, that's my whole point. Tribes in a non-cultish sense. Maybe this is what this Unitarian Universalism could actually provide. It's got a complex history. And it did come out of two Christian groups, one of which rebelled against the idea of the Holy Trinity from from the Anglican Church, and another one. I can't remember what they were rebelling against. Anyway, they got together at a particular time in history, and then and they kind of like got a bit stronger. And then the humanists came along and said, "Well, hang on a second, all spiritual texts can actually have some validity." So what the humanists, who are basically atheists, did is they actually provided space for more people of different theological bents to actually enter into this particular cult or culture. And so there's like going to be atheists and theists and deists and panendeists and all the rest of that coming into the whole melting pot to exchange ideas, and also potentially really, really strange social undesirables like myself, who will suddenly sort of like appear, turn up there, and hopefully enjoy, the complexity of the dialogue and the tranquility of the services itself. So, I mean, it does feel weird, me being someone who likes to do mantra meditation, occasionally gets out a Ouija board, has a history of ceremonial magic, okay, and being in witchcraft groups and pagan groups and the rest of that, and has therefore developed a very broad theological point of view, okay, going to the Church of England. And I think I did it for lots of reasons. I mean, I did it because I felt I wanted like the nation to like me somehow. I think I did it because I wanted like regular society to consider me to be okay. I think I did it because like I was still like trying to pull, as it were, the dregs of the damage done to me by some fundamentalist pagan groups out of my head, because that was, in the 90s. Um, I think that the pagan movement was kind of like still finding its feet, and therefore there were more aggressive people who wanted to evangelize for it and terrify people into following various different traditions. But if you think back at the history of the witchcraft movement, there was a thing called the Council of American Witches, which ended up, the way I understand it, being disbanded because they had too many disagreements between all their traditions. And yet you got this other group called the Unitarian Universalists, who have lots of different traditions and points of view and all the rest of it, and they're getting together and getting stronger. So what are the pagans doing wrong, and what are the Unitarians doing right? Okay, there's it's complex, but there's something which maybe the Unitarians as a group have pagans in their audience. They have pagans in their congregations. They have prayers and they have ceremonies for pagan people. Okay, they can celebrate pagan festivals, okay, for the pagans in their audience. But they've also got humanists and atheists and Christians and Jews and Muslims and this, that, and the other, and Buddhists and Taoists and any other ists you can possibly think of, any ist, any ism, any ianity, any this, that, and the other. They're all there. Okay. I mean, for me, like, yeah, I know that my situation is not like the situation of, a one-legged black lesbian who's like being treated badly because of race and sexuality, okay, and disability. I know that's not the case. I mean, I'm a cisgendered Caucasoid individual and male, all right. But there was still this feeling of kind of rejection, this kind of like sense of confusion. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right there, Stellar Wind, because Holy Communion is a fun thing. It can focus the mind, it can chill you out, it gives you something to think about. It's and a sense of theatrical community, isn't it? All right, and it's also part and parcel of the mystery of the Passover, part and parcel of the symbolism of like you trying to kill off something bad inside yourself and trying to bring something good into yourself through symbols. And sometimes the wine tastes good too. I mean, if you like that sort of thing. Okay, I was only on the gluten-free wafers, and they're pretty difficult to digest. But, either way, I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, if there was like less strong dogmatic stuff, right, in all of these things, that'd actually be quite nice, wouldn't it? I mean, church itself would actually be quite pleasant if there weren't people in there telling you what to believe. All right, I would then end up being able to grow into deism. I'd be able to grow into this, that, and the other, and think things through, and still feel comfortable about going back home and dusting out the Ouija board and playing with it, getting out the pendulum and playing with that thing, and this, that, and the other, because like that would be good. And then of course my work. There's the church is not as happy with someone being a tarot reader or online fortune teller. They're just not. I mean, this is what I do for a living for 14 years. Okay. And on top of that, the imagery from the tarot comes out of the Christian imagery, the Christian art tradition. So Christians really should be thinking, like, yeah, great, we can actually like sell our religion better if people, but they haven't done that. God, the vicar even told me to buy the Jesus deck. The Jesus deck with the comforting words of Jesus on it. No, I mean, that was enough for me to start looking on Etsy for images of Baphomet. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, I felt the need to, rebel in that particular way. Oh, but on the other hand, the image of Baphomet from Transcendental Magic by Eliphas Levi was to be talking about like humanity being an animal, animal primitive, looking up to heaven, thinking about how terrible we are and how great the divine really is, and hoping to aspire to that level. So essentially, what he was saying was humans are essentially the Baphomet. You know what I mean? The like little devil like image that we all know from Transcendental Magic. All right, because Eliphas Levi Alphonse Louis Constant came from the Catholic tradition, and so he was including Catholic ideas into his spirituality, which is one of the reasons why he's kind of like connected to like the Lesser Key and essentially the creation of a formalized version of circle casting, which then ended up in Wicca. And so I personally still see Alphonse Louis Constant as being like one of the founding fathers of the occult movement and of the pagan movement. And I think the pagans don't necessarily recognize him with the same level of reverence that they do for Alex Sanders and Gerald Gardner. But I think that they should, because so much of the neo-pagan movements came from the writings of these great occult authors from way back in the day. Okay, like proper way back. And of course they have plenty of like, just like all the rest of them, there's some like misinterpretations and false histories and false science and woolly thinking which goes into all of their stuff, but you've got to like learn to tease that out. Okay, just like you learn to tease out the falsehoods within the Bible, within why there is that ghastly passage from Deuteronomy in the Old Testament, and looking at the history of that and what that really actually means, which of course the church wouldn't believe in because they're trying to encourage their own Trinitarian like literalist bullshit, which came out of the Council of Nicaea and is ignoring the theology of Arius, which was in competition with the ideas of the Council of Nicaea at the time. And St. Nicholas was the one who was supposed to have punched Arius to say, no, we're doing it my way. So St. Nicholas, who eventually became Santa Claus, is not necessarily a good person from the point of view of a free-thinking deist anyway. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not, but either way, this is a bit of a ramble, I know, but I'm talking about things from my point of view, because that's what it means to be on YouTube. We talk about things from our point of view. I talk about things from my point of view. You talk things about your point of view. And then, hey, presto, we have a whopping great flame war in the comments. And everyone's perfectly, thoroughly dissatisfied in every possible way. That's YouTube. That's the internet. Welcome to it. Right. So, do I think that I've kind of like found a home in Unitarian Universalism? It's still too early to say. What I will say is I like what I've read about it so far. I like what I've seen about it so far. And maybe for weird people who need a community, it is possibly the right thing to do. Okay? Research it, look into it. Unitarian Universalism. And go, do a few YouTube searches and all that kind of stuff, and do this, that, and the other. Hello, Tina. Yep. This is only a short stream because I've got to get myself back to bed soon so I can sleep and get myself revitalized. But this is going out there so you're able to see the whole thing and see all of my peculiar, insane rambles. You know, the most creepy person on YouTube. There's one person years back people called me the most creepy person on YouTube. I'm not the most creepy person on YouTube. I'm just strange. And I got the face. Well, I got the face to look strange, don't I? You know, if I put my glasses down, I'm pretty much Montgomery Burns. Excellent. You know, I mean, thank God I don't look like Ned Flanders. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I mean, what else can I say about my exploration of the ideas of Unitarian Universalism? It's just pretty cool. And I think it reflects what I've always thought. Namely, it's all the same shit anyway. I mean, if people are good atheists or people are good theists, then they're good, aren't they? If people are good pagans or if they're good Christians, then they're good, aren't they? And I think that intelligent people ask questions and have doubts, but you can't be someone who lives a completely contrary life, okay, to the people you meet once a week on either online at the moment because it's lockdown or face to face on a Sunday when the time comes and we get back to it. You know, if they've got strong views and they think a certain way and they believe a certain way, it's just you know, it's difficult. I can't keep up that masquerade of pretending that I'm like them. Whereas within this new group I'm talking about, I think the expectation is that I will be different, but the community will still be supportive. I mean, think about it. I work from home. Okay, if I want to have like a board meeting for my business, it's me holding conversations with myself inside my head, surrounded by four walls and one cat. You know, it is enough to drive you crazy. You know, I must have community, I must have supportiveness, I must have that kind of like whole chill out thing. And if they do have like Buddhist meditations and that sort of stuff, that would be great. Now, I've been talking for 22 minutes now. Crikey. It really is time I should be getting myself to bed. Okay, for those of you who just come on a bit late, then don't worry about it. You can watch the whole thing all over again. Once it's gone live and it's rendered and all the rest of that, and you'll definitely see my ugly, wrinkled face at some point in the future without the shadow of a doubt. Speak to you soon. Keep cool. Check out, um, what did I say? It's very late in the day for me. Unitarian Universalism. And I will keep you posted as to how I carry on this perpetual evolution of mind and spirit, which is my life. Yeah, it's wonderful speaking to all of you admiring fans out there. Heaven knows why. I mean, I'm I'm just me. I'm just a guy. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.